are you this morning? It's the 6th day of our Simbang Gabi. Now we have only like 3 more days to go, so you people, get up, go to Mass. It's not a bad idea, plus it's the coming of the new millennium. And if you guys haven't been going to Simbang Gabi, it's not too late. So you have 3 days more to go. Now, this morning we take you to Maya Kitchen. Once again, it's our venue for the whole week because we are going to be featuring healthy cooking. Of course, with me here is our guest, Miss Virgith Buena, the author of the book Healthy Cooking for Healthy Eating in cooperation with Maya Kitchen. Good morning, Miss Buena. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, Rachel. Good morning. How are you?
Now, I'm fine, thank you. This morning our topic is like healthy soup, okay? Now, a lot of people love soup. Some people need soup for every meal, right?
Right.
So, like my grandfather always used to have soup before everything else. And some people just have soup for dinner, especially like if they're on diet.
Right.
Now, what is the basis of a healthy soup?
Well, actually, the basis would be the stock. Like I have to use a stock that I have to make, like vegetable stock, chicken or beef. Now, I don't make use of the bouillon because it's really high in sodium.
Oh,
and especially for
bouillon. I'm not mentioning any brands here, okay? But it's not good to use bouillon because it's not healthy.
Well, it's especially for those who are hypertensive because for hypertensive patients, we have to cut on the sodium intake.
So it contains a lot of sodium.
Yes, right.
Okay, so you suggest the real old traditional way.
Yes, we have to make our own stuff.
You have to make your own. So you lazy bums out there, get up, do your real cooking, and make your whole family healthy. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions about fat. Please tell us more about this macronutrient.
Well, fat is also important in the diet. You cannot really not have fat in your diet because we have the fat-soluble vitamins, which is vitamins A, B, E, and K, which is important. It cannot be absorbed in the body without a little fat. So we have to use a little fat also. Even for the heart patients, we still have to use a little fat.
When you talk about fat, do you talk about the regular obvious fats, like for example, lechon, especially the one from Cebu, it's so masarap? Or are we talking about like the chicharon with laman? Or are you talking about different kinds of fat?
Well, we have 3 kinds of fat. Actually, we have the saturated fat, the fat that's coming from the meat itself, from milk and dairy products. It's solid at room temperature. We have the polyunsaturated fat, which is the example of which is corn oil, soybean oil, the safflower oil. This reduces the bad cholesterol. And we also have the 3rd kind. We have the monounsaturated fat. We have the olive oil and also canola oil.
So you would say that the body does need fat?
Oh yes, it does need fat. The fat-soluble vitamins will not be absorbed without a little fat.
Okay, but what about those people that don't take vitamins? Like, I don't take vitamins, so...
Neither do I.
So that's okay?
Yeah, because, you know, it depends on what you eat. Like, even a reducing diet of 1,200, provided it's balanced, you still don't need vitamin supplements.
Okay. Now, please tell us about the healthy aspects of soup. How healthy is it? Is it right that some people just have it for a meal, or is it wrong that people just have soup for a meal, or does it depend on what kind of soup? Like if it's French onion soup and it fills you up, then it's okay. Or if it's
well,
like
it really depends on the kind of soup that you have. Like we have the clear soup and we have the thick soup.
Okay. Well, for example, it's clear soup. Is that healthy?
Oh yes, it's healthy.
It's just not so filling, but it is.
Yeah, well, you pair it with something heavy, like the main dish is heavy. Now you can just have a thick soup and then have the salad and the fruit, and that's already a complete meal.
Okay. What about, there's this misconception, or I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, that the soups that are creamy are actually more fattening than the clear ones.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
But it's still healthy to eat though.
Well, yes, but actually it's like this. When a dietitian would give instructions, it depends on, let's say, the food that's given for the day. You are given, like, let's say, the number of exchanges that is really tailored fit for you, like exchanges for vegetables, fruits, milk, rice group, the meat group, and the fat. So that will depend on the number of calories. The exchanges would depend on the number of calories that's given to you. Okay. It's computed for you.
Now, what about those soups that are already, like, canned, like the brand of cream of chicken, cream of asparagus? Are those healthy?
Well, yes, but as I said, when it's processed, there is more sodium in it.
Okay.
So if you're trying to avoid the sodium, you go for the soup that you prepare at home.
So you parents out there, when your kids are sick, don't go for the canned soup. Go for some tender loving care by preparing your own soup, right?
Right, and you save a lot of money.
Yeah, it's actually right. You save much more. So make sure you get a copy of your book, Healthy Cooking for Healthy Eating. There are a lot of soup recipes out here.
You can store this stock in the freezer.
Oh, you can?
Yes, right. You can just use it when you're going to get it from the freezer if you're going to use it.
See, that's great news. Please don't go away because when we come back, Miss Buena here will be teaching us how to prepare sweet corn chowder when Health Central returns. Hey there, if you just joined us, I have my own cooking show now, but just for the week here at the Maya Kitchen with Miss Buena over here. Now before we broke into a commercial, I promised you guys that we're going to be making sweet corn chowder.
Okay, for our ingredients we have, of course, the vegetable oil spray, we have the onions, the celery, bell pepper, the gold medal all-purpose flour, we have the paprika, the fatted chicken stock, corn kernels, we have the non-fat milk, lemon juice, ground pepper, and for our garnishing we have, it's actually parsley.
Oh, parsley.
Okay.
Okay.
So we heat the pan and then spray it.
You know, Miss Buena, we had a phone-in question yesterday by this guy who calls himself JMM. He said that he puts salt in almost everything he eats. What can you advise him?
Actually, you have to taste the food first. You don't really have to, you don't have to put salt right away. And the lesser salt you use, the better for you.
And some people by habit, like he said that he puts salt in everything, on his rice, on the food and everything. So what kind of advice can you give him? Like for example, he wants to cut down on salt. He has to, you were saying something about him having to get used to lowering the salt for at least 2 weeks till the body gets used to it, right?
Once you get used to it, 2 weeks is just difficult. It's difficult to do that for 2 weeks, but after that, you'll be fine.
So JMM, don't forget that. Miss Buena, actually, you got free advice. You don't have to go to her clinic. You got free advice, so thanks to me, I chose to bring out your question. She said, lower your salt, try not to put it in your rice, and you know, for maybe the first 2 weeks, it's gonna take a little getting used to, but after that, your taste buds will adjust, and you're actually gonna live an easier, healthier life thanks to us in Health Central. And if you're severely grateful, you can write to us at howfeelyou@hotmail.com and let us know how it works for you, okay?
Actually, if you notice, I put a little stock with the mixed paprika and flour.
Okay.
So it doesn't, what's this? So it's easier to dissolve.
That's right. And there are other people out there, like in restaurants. Miss Buena was just telling me a while ago that they even put salt and pepper on their plates way before they even taste their food. So that's not a good thing. It's a bad habit. Make sure you taste your food and then you put the additional seasoning or garnishing just to make sure that you have healthier food.
Actually, we have to cook that for at least 3 minutes.
So that
now here, I'd like to mention about the milk. Now,
okay, non-fat milk.
Yeah, it's non-fat milk. Do you know that the difference between whole milk, low-fat milk, and skim milk is like it's if you have the whole milk, it's just having skim milk with, for example, you have 1 cup of whole milk, you just add 2 teaspoons of fat to the skim milk, and that's whole milk.
Wow.
And if low-fat milk, it's 1 cup of skim milk plus 1 teaspoon of oil.
Okay.
So it's the difference actually is just in the oil.
Just in the oil.
Just in the oil.
But it makes a lot of difference with the body, right?
Oh yes, definitely.
The oil, that one oil.
Yeah, because the fat that you get from whole milk is saturated fat. It's the one that clogs to the walls of the arteries.
That's the one that doesn't burn easily, right? So even when I have my coffee or I have some steamed milk I can't mention where because you guys aren't sponsoring us. I have a non-fat milk with hazelnut. That's my favorite. They probably know who they are, but that's okay. So in goes the corn kernel.
Okay, we have to cook it a little bit more and a little.
Now, for those of you interested in taking workshops with Maya, you can call them at 892-1185. They're located at the Liberty Building along Pasay Road, 8th floor. They have 1-day courses, 3 to 4-day courses, they have week-long courses. They have everything. They have bartending. They have summer workshops for kids age 6 to 12. They also have junior workshops for kids age 12 and above. Now we're almost done with the sweet corn chowder. And by the way, the best part is this will actually make 5 servings and only around 69 calories. Okay, here is our sweet corn chowder. You can see over here. Miss Buena is now transferring some for my lunch because it's almost lunchtime and I'm famished because I didn't have breakfast. I know that's wrong. Breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day, but I woke up too early for simbang gabi and I chose to go back to sleep. And for the garnishing, we have some...
We have the...
parsley?
Yeah.
Some parsley. Okay. Thank you very much.
So we have the finished product.
So guys, you reckon this is too big a spoon for my soup? Don't go away because we'll be right back.
Today, Liza Baldoza of Maya Kitchen will show us how to prepare the quick and easy Maya's Oven Toaster Banana Cake Mix. First, prepare the 8 by 3 inch loaf pan by lining the sides and bottom with wax paper. Then, in a large bowl, combine the following ingredients. 1 package of Maya's Oven Toaster Banana Cake Mix, 3 tablespoons cooking oil, 4 tablespoons water, and 2 ripe bananas mashed. If you wish for a darker, richer colored cake, mash the bananas a few hours before using. And 1 medium egg. Beat with a wooden spoon until smooth, about 50 strokes. Pour the mixture into the prepared pan. Then, cover the pan loosely with aluminum foil and lightly seal at the edges. Bake in the oven toaster for 30 minutes or until done. Any type of bananas may be used for this recipe, but a ripe lakatan will give off a better aroma. And there you have it, Maya's quick and easy banana cake. The Maya banana cake mix is also available in an institutional size of 2 kilos for those interested in business opportunities.
Greetings! If you've just joined us, too bad because we just finished making sweet corn chowder. We're here at the Maya Kitchen still. You're still watching Health Central. And Miss Buena here will show us how to make egg drop soup.
Okay, for our ingredients, we have the defatted chicken stock. Now I'm heating it, so we cut short the time. We have here the chopped parsley, we have the ground pepper, we have Worcestershire sauce, whole egg, and 2 egg whites. And we have, of course, the salt to taste. Now,
Defatted chicken. What do you mean by defatted? You take out the fat from...
You remove the fat. Actually, what you do with the soup chicken bones, you mix it with water and then you boil it, and then you add vegetables that you're about to throw away, and then you just strain.
What do you mean vegetables that you're about to throw away? Vegetables that have been used already?
No, actually, no. The one that before you keep it in the fridge, you remove some portions of the vegetables
that are not too desirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you mix it with the chicken bones, and then you boil it, and then you make your own stock.
And then to defat it, you have to put it in the refrigerator.
You have to cool it first. You have to
drain.
You have to drain the vegetables
and
then place it inside the refrigerator, and then the fat will gel. So you remove the fat.
The top portion most of the time is the fatty deposits there that you'd want to like.
You can keep this. You can keep this inside the freezer. So if you're about to use it, you can just use the. Now we have to mix parsley with the whole egg. Then we have the Worcestershire sauce. Then the egg white.
And
finally we have the pepper. Okay, we have to mix this. If you'll notice, I use both the whole egg and 2 of the egg whites. Now, when we count,
that's pretty unusual. Normally, like you just use the egg white or just the yellow part of the egg. But this time,
actually, the egg white is it has no cholesterol. So I just used 1 whole egg because it's almost 300 milligrams of cholesterol for 1 whole egg. You get your allowance for 1 day from 1 egg alone.
Like they say, give eggs a break.
Now I'll have to
salt. You have to measure the salt.
Yeah, actually it's just salt to taste, but I would rather mix it now. 1/4 teaspoon of the salt will give us 500 milligrams of sodium.
Okay, so that's all we need.
Okay, but of course you just put additional salt as needed.
Additional salt as needed. Suit your taste. Suit your every taste. Now, for those of you interested in taking classes here at the Maya Kitchen, you can write to them at LCC, that's Lima Charlie Charlie, at pacific.net.ph. Again, that's LCC at pacific.net.ph. You can inquire about their courses. And for those of you interested in rendering the services of Miss Buena here, they can see her at the Cardinal, your clinic.
Cardinal Santos Medical Center. I have my private clinic there.
And your room number there?
It's room 220. I'm right in the Medical Arts Building, yes.
In the Medical Arts Building. Now, she holds clinic in Cardinal every?
Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday from what time to what time?
9 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening.
On appointment basis or you have a walk-in client?
Well, I do have walk-in clients,
Occupations,
but you know, it's always nicer to make an appointment because I spend about an hour or more for each client.
Oh, great.
Because it's counseling that I do. It's not just the ordinary giving instructions.
So you get your money's worth. Wow,
Okay.
that looks really good. That looks
So we have the
really
finished
good.
product now.
Good. Wow, okay, so here it is. I'm excited. I want to have some soup. Don't y'all like love soup? Soup's like the best thing. Especially when you're sick, when you're not sick, when you're really hungry, you gotta eat soup first so it like warms your tummy. When you don't want to gain weight, soup's like such a great alternative. Wow, wow, wee.
Well, if you want to have it a little hot soup, then you can just add more pepper.
Okay, add more pepper and even some salt according to your taste,
Yes,
right?
right.
So there we have it. Earlier we had the sweet corn. We had the sweet corn chowder. Now we have the egg drop soup, which I'm gonna be sampling in just a little while. So thanks for joining us here at Health Central. Write to us, let us know how you feel, and think at howfeelyou@hotmail.com. I'm Rachel Delmar saying au revoir. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Say bye, Miss Buena.
Bye.
Good morning, everybody. It's the 22nd of December, the 7th day of the Simbang Gabi, and 2 days more till it's Christmas, till it's gift giving and gift opening time. While they say Christmas is for kids, I think Christmas is for everybody. So, like the song says, give love on Christmas Day. While you're watching Health Central, I'm Rachel Delmar, and today we take you back again to Maya Kitchen. With me is our guest, Miss Virgith Buena, who is licensed in the U.S. She's a registered dietitian, and she also has a Philippine license. She's a registered nutritionist and dietitian. Now, she's the author of the book, Healthy Cooking for Healthy Eating, in cooperation with Maya Kitchen. Good morning, Ms. Buena. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, Rachel. How are you?
Thank you for joining us again for the third straight day. I hope you're not tired of waking up too early yet. Now,
Of course not. It's a pleasure for me.
good, because our topic for today will be the introduction to the book and the healthy aspects of vegetables, salads, rice, and dish pastas. Now, these are basically like healthy dishes. How can we make them even healthier?
Well, of course, usually what we do when we cook vegetables, you overcook them. The first thing that we have to do is really cook them, you know, just for a few seconds or minutes.
Okay, this is a really interesting point. Overcooking vegetables. Now, for example, you're making like my favorite sinigang or nilagang baka. How do you make sure that the vegetables don't get overcooked?
Yeah, when it's almost, when you are almost finished with the cooking, that's the time you put in the vegetables and cover it and then put off the fire.
So
Turn
the
off the fire.
vegetables come in last.
Yes,
That way
right.
they're not soggy. Because once the
Yes.
vegetables are soggy, and if you have to reheat it for dinner, then it gets really bad.
And it's just right, you know, when you put it on the table, it's still green, you know.
So what would you say is the best time to put in the vegetables? Like 2 minutes before cooking's over? Or maybe even 5 minutes so it will like soften up?
Just 2 minutes would be fine. It depends on the kind of vegetable, actually.
Okay. So what about like tomatoes? When you put tomatoes in soup?
Well, tomatoes are supposed to cook really.
So
You
gotta
get
put
the
that
taste,
right
yes.
now. Oh,
It
okay.
is the leafy vegetables that you have to put in last.
Okay, that's for the vegetables. What about like for for salad, does it follow the same pattern? Like you mix up everything in a salad and at the last minute you put in the fresh vegetables, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't really matter with the salad.
Because salad should be consumed right after being
Yes,
made,
right.
right? If you make the salad for lunch, you gotta finish that.
Right.
Right. And what about like rice? What's the principle on healthy rice?
Well, usually in some cookbooks, they still put salt with the rice.
They do?
Yes.
Oh.
But the regular Filipino way of cooking rice, we don't put salt. That's okay.
Okay, like the all favorite California rice, is that healthier than the regular rice, or would the rice be actually better? You know those rice that they have all the way up in the north that's kind of even reddish in color?
It's high fiber. It's higher
Yeah,
in
so
fiber.
that's actually
Yes, right.
better. Is that healthier?
Yes, of course.
Okay, but
The more fiber, the healthier.
I once heard that the more you wash the rice, the more you take out the nutrients. Is there any truth to that?
Well, yes, but it's not really that much.
So
It's actually the vegetables that we have to make sure that when we cut the vegetable, we wash it first. Because otherwise, we're going to leach the water-soluble vitamins from the vegetable.
Okay, so you have to wash the vegetables before
cutting.
you even cut it up,
Yes,
not
right.
even to cook it. And what's the best way to wash vegetables? Just water, or you have to? I don't think
Just
soap,
water.
right? I mean, it's gonna leave it some soapy taste.
Just
So just water, preferably warm water, maybe to take out the germs, or
Not
even
really, just the regular water.
normal.
Yes.
Okay, and okay, so that's with regards to salad, rice. What about the pasta dish? Okay, you know how the pasta you always want it like al dente. If it's too soggy, then it doesn't taste right, and if it's too hard, then it tastes like it's uncooked. So how do you get that perfect?
Again, the important thing here to remember is that if you are really conscious of the sodium, then don't put salt with the pasta when you're cooking it.
Okay. So normally some people put salt in the pasta when
Yes,
they're cooking
right.
it. So what's a safe time to boil? You know, to boil the pasta before taking it out. Would you say like 4 minutes is enough time? Is it low fire? What's
It
the
depends
normal
on it depends on the kind of pasta, really.
Okay, so that's the healthy way. What about you? Okay, for example, you had a choice and you have a steak and they say, okay, sidings, you can have either pasta, you can have rice. What would you normally take?
I would rather have the rice,
The rice,
the plain rice.
just the plain rice, not
Yes,
garlic
right.
rice.
No.
Is garlic rice healthy?
Well, yes, it can still be healthy. You can have your sinangag rice, but just use the vegetable oil spray, and then you fry the garlic, but not the rice.
Okay, what about like corn? You know how some people eat corn, prefer corn to rice. Is it true that corn is actually healthier than rice?
It has more fiber.
More fiber. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Buena. But don't go away, because when we come back, we're gonna be cooking with Miss Buena right here at the Maya Kitchen. Don't go away. Hey there, if you've just joined us, no, I don't have my own cooking show. Well, not just yet. It's still Health Central you're watching, but we're featuring healthy food. We're here at the Maya Kitchen with Miss Buena. Miss Buena will show us how to make tofu stroganoff.
Yeah, the tofu stroganoff is the version of the regular beef stroganoff that we have. Now, for our ingredients, we have, of course, the vegetable oil spray. We have the onions, the mushroom, a little butter for flavor. And then we have the
Freshly ground
freshly
pepper.
ground pepper. We have the broth, the tomato paste, salt, oregano. We have the cooking wine. We have the tofu and yogurt. Of course, we have the fettuccine and parsley for garnishing.
That's
parsley.
right. Okay. So what are the benefits of tofu?
Well, tofu is really good. It can be a meat substitute. Now, half cup of the tofu would substitute one month's back size of meat.
Oh, great. Okay. So
Okay, so we heat the pan, and then we spray 3 times if we are going to saute. If we are using a non-stick pan, we spray only once.
okay, we're going to saute, so we spray 3 times.
1, 2, 3.
Dos, tres. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Italian, since we're making stroganoff. There we go, we have the onions. Next we have the mushrooms.
The mushroom.
We have the butter. What kind of butter is best used for cooking?
Well, any kind of butter will do.
Any kind of butter
Actually,
will do.
this is more for flavor.
More for flavor. I love Anchor among all the loaves. Anchor. Next we have the ground pepper. The broth. What's the broth made of?
It's actually chicken broth.
Chicken broth.
Yeah, I'd like to show our audience here. Like this is the chicken broth, but we place it inside the refrigerator to gel, and then we remove, we skim off the fat, and this is the outcome. So it's less
Okay,
fat.
so you can refrigerate the chicken broth, and then actually it's better that you do. That way you can see the fat, and then you can remove it before you put it inside the pan. So
Okay, we mix the broth with
the tomato paste.
Tomato
goes
paste.
in.
okay, the oregano,
Hand traffic here. The oregano
the salt.
and the salt. Where else can we use tofu as substitute?
Oh, we can do a lot of cooking for tofu. We can even blend tofu and then mix it with fruit. Oops, sorry. Put this in.
In goes the sauce. A lot of people I know like tofu, like especially in sukiyaki.
Oh yes, tofu is very good. Actually, you know, in the States, we have made a
Tofu
research.
salad.
Yes, we made a research on tofu, and they make use of tofu as a replacement for hormone therapy.
Really? For hormone
Yes,
therapy?
yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I put in the cooking wine. The alcohol evaporates, so what's left behind is just the flavor.
That's great. That way you don't get intoxicated while having your tofu stock.
So you can cook this a little bit.
Gonna make it simmer
Yeah. And,
for like 3 minutes or so.
And then we have 2 cups. Again, I'd like to repeat that 1/2 cup of the tofu is equivalent to 1 meat exchange or 1 ounce of meat.
Wow. So you add the cube tofu,
Yes, and then the yogurt.
then last of all, last ingredient will be the yogurt.
We'll just cook this just to heat through. Actually, it's cooked already,
What
so
do you mean by heat through? When you say heat
just
through,
heat.
just enough to like
Just, yeah.
heat it up, not like boil it or anything.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if the tofu gets crushed while you're mixing it in?
Actually, it won't really get crushed because I'm very careful in
Oh,
mixing it
okay.
in. So it's nice to see the tofu, you know. when
That's
you
right.
put
It's
it
nice seeing it in
Yeah.
nice cube forms because when it
Okay.
gets all
So we can put this. We can put this on top.
see, look at that. Look at all the fat. So you really have to put it in the refrigerator. That's how you see it. There we have it.
Yeah, okay.
Voila.
What is really important here is you measure. Like, let's say if you're conscious of how much tofu you're going to have, you measure. Like, let's say 1/2 cup of tofu. This is really a good dish.
So that's actually good for 4 servings, everything that we now made. And the approximate calories of this whole plate is just 225 calories. Wow.
It's filling, but it's light.
It's filling and it's light and it's really healthy because it has tofu. But don't go away because when we come back, Miss Buena here will be teaching us how to make pasta with herb vegetable sauce. Mmm.
The Maya Kitchen not only offers various cooking courses, they also share their cooking experience by co-authoring several cookbooks. Filipino Cookbook offers all the facets and phases of Philippine cuisine's recipes, from beverages, appetizers, to desserts for everyday meals and special occasion. It also reflects Philippine history, social setting, Filipinos' lifeways, and taste for food and for life. The Filipino Cookbook also has a Filipino translation entitled Sarap Pinoy, as well as already having a second edition entitled The New Filipino Cookbook. Guide to Baking puts into print the Maya Kitchen's vast experience in baking by coming out with a book entitled Guide to Baking. This indispensable book will guide the budding new baker to the joys of baking. There are also 101 recipes of cookies, pies, pastries, cakes, and breads that a novice can easily do. The best of Maya Cakes and Pastries shares with us 30 of the most popular cakes and pastries in bake shops, hotels, and restaurants around the country. Considered one of the first Filipino cookbooks which provides illustrated guide with the recipe. A sequel of the best of Maya Cakes and Pastries is More Cakes and Pastries. It features more delicious and exciting recipes, not only of cakes and pastries, but also of cookies, breads, meringue, quick desserts, plus a whole section of chocolate goodies. The Maya Kitchen has also produced easy Japanese cooking for Filipinos, which includes the favorite Japanese dishes of Filipinos, such as modern Japanese recipes, plus tips in planning and preparing bento boxes. Of course, proving to be highly popular, the Maya Kitchen quickly put out a sequel entitled Secrets of Japanese Cooking, which gives you traditional as well as modern Japanese recipes. And for those who have a microwave oven, Microwave Cooking is the first Filipino microwave cookbook, which include all-time Filipino favorites as well as providing useful information to use that microwave oven to its full potential.
Hi there, if you just joined us, we just finished making the tofu stroganoff, and I stand corrected. Stroganoff is not Italian, but it's a Sprachnedeutsche German. Now, Miss Buena's going to show us how to make the pasta with herb vegetable sauce.
Okay, for our ingredients, we have carrots, we have the broccoli, the squash and zucchini. For our sauce, we have the non-fat milk, low-fat ricotta cheese, we have the Parmesan cheese, parsley, green onions, we have the garlic and the dried basil.
Yeah.
Now we have to steam the vegetables until desired doneness. Okay. I'll have to put this on top.
All together.
Okay.
So, only the squash goes on top.
Yeah.
Everything else stays in the bottom.
Yes. So it gets cooked. And then, meantime, we have to make the sauce.
The sauce.
Okay.
Okay.
So we put in the.
For those
This is
of you who want to get some
yogurt, the
advice
milk, non-fat
from-
milk.
This is non-fat milk from Miss Buena. She has clinic. She holds clinic in Cardinal Santos every.
Monday to Saturday.
And you have patients aged from.
I have infants to the elderly.
That's great. So if you need a dietitian and nutritionist, go visit her there. Or you can tell them your telephone numbers.
Yeah, my phone number is 726-1639.
726-1639.
That's my direct line.
That's her direct line, so you don't have to wait.
Okay, we have here the garlic and the basil. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna put it all You know, we're here at the Maya Kitchen, and if you guys are interested in taking workshops, you can call them at 892-1185 and look for Rory Subida. She's like the manager, and she will help you. There we go. Maya Kitchen is, of course, located at the penthouse of the Liberty Building. That's the 8th floor. Just come on over or give them a call.
I have to push this every now and then.
And since we don't have much time, this is how it looks after. This is how it's supposed to look after.
So this is the herb pasta sauce?
That's the herb pasta sauce. You know what? There are a lot of courses that they have here. They have a 1-day course, they have a 3 to 4 day course called the certificate course with hands-on and actual participation. They also have the 1-week course. And here at the Maya Kitchen, they have specialized courses by foreign chefs. They do Dutch, they do Japanese and French cuisine. So you can like come on over and learn how to cook foreign ways without having to go there. And so here we are with the vegetables. They look nice and green. As you can see, we need to strain them. That way it doesn't get all soggy. Don't forget the Maya Kitchen. You can call them at 892-1185 and look for Rory Subida. They have catering courses, they have restaurant operations, basic cooking, basic baking, and domestic cooking.
Okay.
There we go. And you transfer it like so. We got the noodles, and this is the sauce. This actually makes 6 servings, and in the end, when it's all together, the approximate calories are only just 170 calories per serving.
Okay, I have to mix this.
See, this is one thing I learned about Miss Buena. When she's like cooking, you shouldn't speak to her because sometimes I ask her questions and she doesn't answer. And she
I'm
said,
concentrating.
It's like, don't talk to the driver. It's the same basic principle. When she's cooking, don't talk to her because she's like concentrating. Cooking in a way is like an art.
Okay.
You know, it's a form of art.
So we put the
See,
sauce
there you
now.
have it. Here is our pasta with herb vegetable sauce. There you have it. Here we are with the finished products, which I'm just about ready to sample because it's almost lunchtime and I'm famished. We have the tofu stroganoff here and the pasta with herb vegetable sauce. And I would like to thank you guys for joining us. We hope you join us again tomorrow and the days to come. We're on every Monday to Friday, 10 to 10:30. Now, if you have any comments, questions, and or suggestions, well, you can write to us at howfeelyou@hotmail.com. We'd like to thank everyone for phoning in, giving us their comments and questions, all the housewives and students who've been watching. We really appreciate all your calls, all your letters and everything. We'll probably read your letters like sometime next week. So, I'm Rachel Del Mar. You're watching Health Central. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. So we're here at the Maya Kitchen, and with me is the author of the book Healthy Cooking for Healthy Eating in cooperation with Maya Kitchen. Now her name is Miss Virgith Buena. She's an RD in the US, which is a registered dietitian, and in the Philippines she's an RND. RND doesn't mean registered nurse and dietitian. It actually means registered nutritionist dietitian. Welcome to the show and good morning.
Good morning to Rachel.
Now, the past few days we've been discussing like soup and pasta, vegetables and all that. Now, today our topic is going to be meat. What is the proper way to cook meat?
Well, of course, the usual thing that we do, less fat.
Less fat.
And then we have to make sure that we choose the right kind of cut for the meat. Like we have, if we want to have the lean meat, we have to select, when we buy in the grocery or in the market, we have to select the loin or the round, because it contains less fat.
The loin or the
Round.
round?
Yes.
See, I know nothing about this. Now, for example, they say meat, it has to be cooked properly or it's not going to be healthy. Like the burgers, they say that you shouldn't actually, because some places, especially in the States, they ask you, how do you want your burgers done? You can have it rare, medium rare, well done, and all that. Just like we have the steaks here in our country. Now, is it really true that you shouldn't have it close to raw? Anything reddish is not healthy?
Well, actually, for beef, yes, we can have it rare, but not the pork. The pork has to be cooked well.
So beef can be rare.
Yes, right.
So it's actually, so that's why beef carpaccio is actually okay.
Yes,
And
we
beef
have
sashimi is okay.
We have the tartar steak.
And the tartar steak.
It's uncooked.
But when it comes to pork and
Pork, it has to be well done.
and of course chicken too, right? Chicken
Yes,
has to
right.
be like
Yes.
cooked. Once it's red, don't touch it, right? And you
Yeah.
have to make sure it's like all cooked. And pork's very important. And what about like when you buy pork? Sometimes you find that when you take it back home, it doesn't smell too fresh. What are the ways and of checking
You just
the
have,
good pork
you just
while
have
you're
to
in the
return it. You just have to return if you haven't, if you did not buy a fresh one. You just have to return it to the vendor.
Yeah, because sometimes you eat in a restaurant and you could smell. This is like a certain smell.
Oh, you have to complain. It's your right.
But some people actually really don't like pork to a point that they feel like it smells differently compared to beef, right?
Well, not really. Not
Well,
really.
Okay, so what should we look out for in preparing meat dishes to make sure that it's healthier?
Well, I mentioned that earlier regarding the type of cooking that we have to do for the dish. Like
So
we make use of,
medium well or medium rare is fine.
well, it's fine for as long as it's beef.
Okay, for as long as it's beef, but it has to be well done when it's
Pork,
pork.
right.
So what are some of the tips you can teach us to let us know so we can cook a healthier meat dish?
Like instead of using the oil, we can make use again of the vegetable oil spray, which I use in the cookbook.
Okay, like for example, you buy like steak and all that. It has fat, right? And the fat kind of turns into oil. So when you cook it, are you
Wait,
still supposed to put some oil or just like a minimal amount?
Well, very minimal. Like using the vegetable sprays just to make sure that the meat does not stick to the pan. Now, of course, when there is fat, we have to trim off the fat.
Okay.
Because the fat there is saturated fat. It's the one that clogs the walls of the arteries.
Oh, but in some Japanese restaurants, they chop off the fat and they like dice it up, make it into small pieces, and they serve that to you. Is that okay? Or that
Well,
shouldn't be done?
if you are healthy conscious, then you don't do that.
Okay. Now, I want to find out, in some places, right, you have meat and you have a choice, like in a buffet. What should we take?
Pork can have lesser fat than the beef. You know, the fat of the beef is between the grains, while the pork, it's usually outside and it's visible. It's easy for you to trim it off. But the beef, it's hard.
Okay, and for all the steak lovers out there, there's so many choices. Tenderloin, prime rib, filet mignon, and all that. What's actually the best cut?
The loin would be a good tip. Like you should select a cut that has the loin there or round.
And if possible, they should have it grilled, right?
Yes.
As opposed to fried. The best steak I ever tasted was just a little olive oil, just 3 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other side, and just some soy sauce, and it was like really superb. Don't go away, people out there, because when we come back, we're going to be teaching you how to cook spicy stir-fried beef when we come back. back and you're watching Health Central with me, Rachel, and my co-cook for this morning, my sous chef, is Miss Buena, and at the Maya Kitchen, we are now going to prepare the spicy stir-fried beef.
Okay, so I'll be preparing half the recipe for the spicy stir-fried beef. Now we have the beef, the sirloin, the cornstarch, the soy sauce, and here is the garlic, ginger, sweet pepper, shredded carrots. We have the bamboo shoots and chestnut and spring onions.
Very good.
Okay, so the first thing we have to make sure that the beef, we trim off the fat from the beef.
Okay.
And as I said, I'll be using half of this.
Sweet pepper, there's such a thing as sweet pepper?
Yeah, sweet pepper. Like the sodium, the soy sauce, we can use the low sodium soy sauce if you want just half of this.
Okay. So she's making half the recipe.
Now I'm making the marinade.
Putting half.
We have to marinate this for 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
So this is just plain
Marinate inside the refrigerator.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So it does make a difference if you marinate it inside the refrigerator and
It's better
outside?
because it's clear inside.
Okay.
Okay,
So it's been marinated now for 30 minutes. They're inside the refrigerator. Our next step would be to spray the pan.
When we are going to stir fry, we have to spray it 3 times.
3 times. 1, 2, 3. I feel like Ricky Martin over here.
And then I have here.
Mmm, smells good already.
Oops.
That's the garlic.
Yeah, we have to fry the garlic. And the ginger.
Here comes the ginger. So we had the garlic, we had the ginger, now we have the beef that was marinated inside the refrigerator for 30 minutes.
We have to cook this until brown.
You gotta cook it until it's brown to make sure it's cooked.
It smells good.
Yeah, it does smell good.
If you'll notice, there's very little fat. That's why I have to keep on moving this so it doesn't get burned.
Okay. Very little fat. It's a good idea. We have now that's the sweet pepper, the carrots, shredded carrots from Bugs Bunny, the bamboo shoot,
The chestnuts,
and the onion.
that comes later.
But that comes later. And the onions come later. It looks like something straight out of a Chinese restaurant.
Smells good.
Oh, that does smell good. Mmm, I'm getting hungry and it's almost lunchtime, so I think I'm gonna have this for lunch a little bit later. Terrific.
The salt here is actually very little. The sodium.
Sodium's very little, wow.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, you can use the low sodium soy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this can come in last.
Now for the finishing touch, the onions. And voila.
Okay. We're done.
That's done. Very cool. Thank you very much, Miss Buena, for making the spicy stir-fried beef. A little bit later, I'm going to be sampling the product because I'm the host. I get to do all that. So don't go away because we'll be back with so much more when Health Central returns.
Christmas is getting near, and what better way to celebrate than to treat your family with Maya's oven toaster bibingka mix. First, Pass the banana leaf over medium flame until wilted. Cut into a rectangle, 9.5 by 5.5 inches. Use it to line a 9 by 5 inch rectangular pan and set aside. In a bowl, combine the cake mix and all of the coconut milk powder in a sachet pack. Blend well. Add the egg, water, and melted butter. Beat with a wooden spoon until smooth, about 20 to 25 strokes. Pour into the prepared pan. Remove the oven toaster tray and place the pan directly on the oven rack. Bake in the oven toaster for 7 to 8 minutes or until the top is firm to the touch and lightly browned. If not yet done, bake for another 2 to 3 minutes. Serve at once with grated coconut. And there you have it, Maya's quick and easy oven toaster bibingka mix.
Hi there, if you just joined us, we're here at the Health Central Maya Kitchen. It's called Cooking with Rachel. Now, we already just made a stir-fried spicy beef. We're going to make some pork and lettuce rolls now with Miss Buena. Miss Buena?
Yes, our ingredients are, we have the mushrooms, we have the ground pork, chopped chestnut, the spring onions, and we have, this is artificial crab meat, but we can use also it's better to use the crab meat actually. And we have here the sesame oil, the soy sauce, the oyster sauce, and the wine. No, it's a lot better if we use the reduced sodium soy sauce.
Reduced sodium
Yes.
soy sauce. Okay, we'll remember that.
Okay, so here we go. So we have to spray the pan. If you'll notice, I'm using the non-stick pan.
Non-stick Teflon pan.
Yeah, and then we have to put in the pork.
Put in the pork. You know, the pork that we're using is not the ground pork that we buy off in the grocery stores, right?
Mhm,
Is it,
yes.
how do you go about making the pork ground?
Well, you just buy the regular pork and then just trim off the fat. So the lesser the fat, the healthier.
Okay. So and you were saying about the mushrooms. If it's the dry mushrooms, you soak it in water for 20 minutes.
Yes, right.
Okay.
To be
Okay. After the drying, we can take it away.
we have to cook this a little bit. As I said earlier, we have to cook the pork.
Pork has to be cooked well.
Yes,
very
right.
well.
Okay, I'll add
The mushrooms.
the mushrooms.
What kind of mushrooms are they? Can you use any kind of mushroom?
Well, it depends. You can use the button mushroom.
So it doesn't really matter what kind of mushrooms you use.
No.
And in went the water chestnut. What do you call that again? It's not crab
This
meat,
is
but
not
it's,
the real crab. It is artificial.
artificial crab meat. And where can we find that?
We can buy it in the grocery shop.
Is that the same thing they use for like crab sticks and all that?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is like pork and lettuce rolls. It's like a mini lumpia made out of lettuce.
Yeah, right.
Is that how it goes?
Right.
You can also find it in Chinese restaurants, right? Yeah.
If you'll notice, we've used very little oil here. and we're
Hardly any
using-
oil,
yes.
just a little one that you sprayed over the non-stick pan, which is actually very good. And you took out the meat of the pork. So once again, the people out there, don't buy ground pork. If you can, you buy maybe like 1/4. How much kilos of pork? A fourth?
Well, it depends on the
How much you're making.
How much you're making.
Like, but
yes.
for today, we got
We got 1/2. This is 1/2.
one half ground pork. And what you can do is you buy the pork, you chop out the fat, and then you just mix it in, right?
Like if they are in the grocery store and they look at the ground pork, like the more pink in color, it indicates it has more fat.
More
Because
fat.
especially if it's grounded already.
What about the freshness? Do you go for the one more reddish in color, more? How can you tell?
Actually, it's different when you the beef is different in color than the
Than the pork.
yes.
For pork, we should look for what color?
Well, actually, darker pink.
Darker pink. And for beef, we should look for
Well, it's dark red actually.
a dark red. Because here at the Maya Kitchen, if you take a workshop, they actually teach you everything up until how to market for the meat that you buy. So if you're interested in taking workshops, don't forget, you can contact them
Okay,
at
I
the
can
building at the
Leave
8th
this
floor.
behind.
This is the part where
This
you
is
mix the
the,
sauces in,
yeah.
right? So
We
this
have
is
to
the
mix this.
that's the
This is
sesame
the sesame
oil,
oil.
that's
the
sesame
soy
oil,
sauce.
the soy sauce,
The oyster
the non-fat, the low-fat soy sauce. Here's the
Actually, if
oyster
you
sauce.
notice, the oyster sauce is very small.
Yes,
Very
hardly
little.
anything.
Yeah. And then the,
Some oyster sauce
the
and
cooking
some-
wine.
What kind of wine is this?
The cooking wine.
Cooking wine. So it's not red, it's not white, it's cooking
Actually,
wine.
we use the wine, but you know there's not much calories here because like the alcohol evaporates and we are using here the flavor.
Oh, great. And for the lettuce, make sure it's like washed and drained. As you can see over here. Washed and drained. See? It's gotta be dry. That way it's not gonna be soggy. So you mix it all in. It's beginning to get some color. And it's done. So there we have it, the pork and lettuce rolls. Imee's here. She's going to show us how to roll it. Imee, okay, get the biggest chunk you have there and just put it in. And 2 tablespoons. And simply roll. Thank you very much. Now here we have the spicy stir-fried beef. There we have the pork and lettuce rolls. As Imee continues, I'm going to have a sample of it in a little while. You guys, write to us. Let us know how you think it feels. For any comments, questions, and or suggestions, write to us at howfeelyou@hotmail.com. We'd like to thank the Maya Kitchen, Imee over here, and of course Miss Buena for joining us today. It's almost Christmas, you guys. Make sure all your shopping's done. I'm Rachel Del Mar. You're watching Health Central. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.